Good morning all. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today we are going back to Wilton Marina to go look at Pegasus again. We've got some paperwork to deal with at the marina. We've also got to discuss a few little things regarding the in-water survey and also the hull survey. So it's going to be a pretty busy day. You're going to have a more in-depth look at the boat today as well, and I'm going to show you what work we're going to be doing today. So yeah, it's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be interesting. Soon see. Anyway, I'll see you at the boat. How do everybody? Welcome on board Narrowboat Pegasus. So, second video of the boat we've just bought. It's been a couple of weeks. We've had the hull survey done. Well, it was done previously, but we've had the in-water survey report come back, and I'm going to go more in depth with that when I get back home, just so you can see what's going to need doing. So, a narrowboat, people want to see how narrow it is. Yeah, so my hands can touch both walls. This is the lounge area. Behind is the kitchen. I'll show you that in a bit. So the plan for this place is the Morso squirrel stove. We're going to keep it for a while. Because it's coming up to summer, we're not going to need to worry about it too much. The ultimate plan is to do the diesel fuel stove. So yeah, that's going to be sorted in a bit. TV, we'll probably get rid of that, because what the plan would be is to put it actually on this wall here. Soundbar. We're going to try. It needs a bloody good clean. This place needs a really good clean. But we've got an idea. The flooring, it's like a vinyl flooring. It's old. It might be original, but in the report it does say it's recommended to rip it out and redo it. That's fine. We've got some advice from one of the guys at Wilton Marina. He told us the best types of wood to actually physically use. I mean, either do like the board and then re-lino it, or our plan is to have wooden floorboards, which would be a lot easier, especially when you've got things moving along the floor. Like, you don't want to be scraping the sofa a lot on lino because it rips it. So yeah, we're going to get rid of it. The plan is to have teak flooring. We did contemplate oak, which is what all this is, but the guy from the marina, he did tell us that it's not a good wood for flooring on a boat. He says if it was us and we were going to do it, it's more expensive, but use teak flooring, teak wood for the flooring. So to be honest, we'll probably take his advice. He lives on a boat himself. He knows it very well. The guy's also an engineer. He knows narrowboats inside and out. So I'm going to listen to the professional on that one. There's quite a lot of electric points here, but I think we're going to be looking at rewiring the entire boat, having a new inverter system, a new electrical system for our needs. We know that all the electric wiring is in this centre console here, so it's nice and easy, because it means when we get an electrician to do this, obviously I'm not going to do it, I'm not qualified enough, we can take these out. These battens come out and they'll be able to get access to the actual electrics there, so we can theoretically do the entire boat. And also, because I'm going to need a plug socket here anyway, like I said, TV, we're going to have a soundbar underneath, going to need storage, for the PlayStation, for the Nintendo Switch there. We're going to get rid of this couch. We're going to go to a company called Sofa Bed Barn. They've been highly recommended for narrowboat fit outs. So they can build us a fabric sofa, but which also obviously turns into a sofa bed. This, like I said, it's a 3-man sofa. It's absolutely huge. We're going to get rid of it. We don't need it. It's too big. It means then we free up space for this area, which I'm just going to show you now. This area here is where we want to build the dinette. We also want a freezer, one of those pull-out freezers. So again, let me just show you. So the plug socket down there, we're going to need to move it to about down. Oh, sorry, 1 second. We're going to need to move it here, the electrics. It's just because if we're, well, around that area, because we're going to need the table here. There's going to be a chair here. There'll be a chair here. Then we're going to be putting a bookcase along the side here as well for our books, my cookbooks and everything. So that's the plan in here. So replacing the floor, removing these curtains, eventually moving the diesel, more so squirrel stove, getting rid of this. My plan is to put my LP player there, my vinyl record player, and the speaker there, because I like listening to vinyl. So there. It has got underneath a car stereo with a CD player as well, and there are actually speakers actually on the roof, so I don't need to worry about that. But I have got external speakers anyway. Obviously, I love this bell. I'm going to get it brassoed back up. There is storage underneath. There's not really much to say about that. This well deck needs a lot of work. It needs more sanding down, re-varnishing, red oxide, and doing out. The water is actually under this seat here, so that's where we put our water. In fact, actually, it might be over there. Onto the kitchen. We've got a beautiful duck hatch. So look at that. It's, like I said, it's got a fly screen as well, so the fly screen is going to need replacing, but that's going to be good, especially when I'm cooking. It's a nice day, we don't want the flies coming in, so I could put the fly screen down. Yeah, so look at that. So you can see outside as well, and then over here as well. So yeah, it's going to be hard to show you the outside, but I'll try and do my best in a bit. Obviously the kitchen, we'll leave it as it is for the time being, until we've got enough money to maybe redo this kitchen. I mean, to be honest, we kind of like the style. Really, the only thing we'd need to look at changing is the surface, the work surface. Both of us are not a fan of the colour, and we're not really a fan of the actual layout. This is the original oven. It's a Vanette 4-burner, and obviously the entire thing's gas. It's a entirely gas stove, so it's not fan assist or anything. I've never dealt with gas ovens before, so this is going to be new to me, which is good, because it means my cooking and cruising is exactly what I was talking about. How my life is going to change slightly, how I'm going to have to adapt to a kitchen. I mean, it's a fantastic space still. So yeah, there's all this. We've got the fridge down here. We've got that. There's plenty of storage underneath. There's place for our plates and cups and stuff in there. It looks like this is also more storage for things like your food and stuff like that. You've got down here, let's sort this camera out. You've got down here, which has got like little drawers and little cupboards. It's good for cans of like beans and stuff like that. My plan is to get rid of this wine rack. It's not going to be needed, and make some more shelving along this wall here. so I can store things like flour, rice, pastas and stuff like that. The one thing I'm trying to figure out is where I'm going to put a spice rack. I'm a bit limited on this one. I do also want a knife rack, but what I'm thinking of doing is I might actually put a knife magnet rack here, so I've got somewhere for my knives, but the spices I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I could potentially here, along this bit here, build a bit of a shelf coming out and putting my spices along there. I think that might work. I'll have to talk to the boss about that as well, you know, because it's not just my boat, it's hers as well. Bedroom. This is the main bedroom. This is where we're both going to be living. Sleeping, sorry. Behind here is a cupboard. It's a really nice space, to be fair. Let me just see if I can show you. So it's very dark in there, but in there, that's where Hazel will put all her clothes. She needs more room than I do. Underneath the bed, there's two big deep drawers. So I can use one for my clothes, one for my socks and undies. Also, we've got cupboard space up here. We've got a bit of cupboard space up there. But to be honest, again, I think Hazel's going to end up using that for like her perfumes and whatnot, beauty products. But yeah, so that. Obviously, the bathroom, again, in here, it's got a shower. It's got like a very mini bath. Right, this is my concern. I've spoke about this before. This is a macerator pump out toilet. At the moment, I don't really want to go too much into it because I'd rather not. It's going to get repaired by the marina because it's actually, there's a leak on it and you can smell it in the other room because that's where the septic tank is. The ultimate plan with this is to actually just completely rip it out, and we're going to have one of those cassette toilets there. So yeah, that's going to be something definitely we're going to be dealing with. Obviously there's a nice little sink there. There's enough storage under here as well. There's a lot of light in this boat and a lot of windows, so it's good. So this is the second bedroom I'm talking about. We're definitely ripping this out. It's going. We've looked at the septic tank underneath and it's plastic, which is fantastic news because it means it's not actually attached to anything. It's not really attached. Again, this cupboard, we've discussed the pram and crutch cover. They're both going to get completely replaced. We're going to rip those. We're not having them. We're not keeping them. We've been given a contact who can do better ones for us, so that's what we're going to do. Underneath there's a lot more storage. I'm not sure, the engine's under there as well. There is an issue with the engine, but the marina is actually fixing that problem for us. Inside this cupboard we've got our switch mode battery charger. We're going to change the electrics in this boat. We want an inverter, which I think is below us anyway. At the moment it's got shoreline, which is your shoreline, that's where you hook up to the mains, and then this is where you're hooked up to the engine battery, the batteries, and also the solar. And yeah, there's a clarifier in there, so an earth battery heating as well, so there's all that as well. This is the old tiller pin, the tiller for the boat, and we've got a tiller pin as well, which is actually called Pegasus. And look at that beautiful bit of kit. She just needs a good brassoing, good cleaning, and she's going to be good to go. Pegasus by name, Pegasus by nature. So on the outside, you can see it just needs a good wipe down. To be fair, there isn't actually much rust up here. Alright, there's little bits here, but we can just sand that down, get some oxide onto it and just repaint it. It's not an issue. The biggest jobs we're going to be doing is actually on the outside. So Look how big my bloody boat is. So the main things we're going to need to look at are along the whole entire side of the boats. It needs sanding down, it needs rusting, de-rusting. So we know what products we need to use, we know what paints we need to use to protect all that. It's not too deep either, which is a bonus. It's not, I've looked along the entire length of the boat to see if it's quite deep, and it's not. It's more cosmetic than anything else. The same goes for this side as well. It's all cosmetic, so it's something that we can actually deal with. It's not an issue. Up here on the roof as well, again, it's not too deep. It just needs a good sanding and then get some oxide onto it and then prime it and repaint it. So we'll get some white paint and do the entire length of the boat. The solar panels do work. The solar panel box is going to get repaired by the actual marina. They're going to actually get this. It does work, I've just checked it, and they're going to get it put inside as well, which will be a bonus. We've got an electrical up there, but they're going to get that fixed for us as well. They're going to repair that, so that's a bit of a bonus. It does have bow thrusters on here. It might be irreparable, so I think they're going to end up blanking it off. It's not a problem. We don't need bow thrusters. I drive an Arctic. I'm not going to have an issue with this. So back inside the boat, we're just going to go all the way to the front, and then... So yeah, so I've been writing a lot of notes. I've hit quite a few notes down. I've got the tape measure out to start measuring things up. The front door needs replacing. This area, it just needs a new bit on there. This is beautiful, but these don't lock properly either, so we need this entire little area replacing, possibly the doors as well. And then coming out to the front of the boat, you never saw the front of the boat before because I never showed it, but this is the well deck. Underneath here is where the water is, so you just have to lift the seat out and that's where we get to the water. Underneath all this, it all needs sanding back down, and then it needs a rust treatment and repainting. The whole boat needs a good wash. It's got a lot of cobwebs, to be expected on a boat, guys. Remember, this is a spider's haven and I'm terrified of spiders, which doesn't help. This cratch board, sorry, 1 second. Oh, let me try. So this cratch board, we're going to sand all that down, varnish it. Same goes for all the triangular side. Look, we've got a swan on the front. Beautiful thing that is. 1 second, we're going outside so you can see the boat from the front. Oh, please don't fall in, please don't fall in. Okay, so this is the boat from the front. So as you can see, this side nice and bright. It needs a bit of TLC. That side dull. It just needs repainting, wiping down, repainting. You've got all the rust on this as well, and inside it's not that bad actually. This is where the gas locker is. This is where we've got the 2 gas bottles which power the oven, and I'm not sure what else because I'm still learning myself. So this is the boat from the side, and look how she's just a long boat. Needs a new fender, front fender, but there is actually one on the boat which I'm going to replace after all the painting has been done on the exterior. So we're going to need like an oil-based paint for it. The marina's going to black it at the bottom where the water line is. They'll black it from downwards, and then my job is to just sand all this down, the entire thing, all the way down, all the way along the boat, and then just repaint it. So I'm going to repaint it black up to about there, and then the rest of this along the gunnels, that's all going to be blue. The gunnels need some new non-stick pads as well along the sides, so there's all that as well. Again, this needs sanding, a good sanding, and then it needs like a varnish, a treatment on it just to keep it protected. This is going to go, we're going to get stud stud ones. We've got a contact we can use to replace the whole thing. So yeah, not really a lot more else to tell you until we actually move on to the boat. That's going to be in about a month's time. Before that, we've got the Crick Boat Show that we're going to, and I will be doing a video on there. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it here, guys, and I'm going to see you when I'm at home, and I'm going to go through the report, what we need to do, what the marina are going to do. Anyway, peace out. Hi everybody. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since we went back onto Pegasus. I had to just basically get my head around some things regarding the sail and everything like that. And I thought I'd give you my feedback on what's going on now. Okay, so when we went down on Saturday, we went to speak to the marina to discuss what work they were actually going to do regarding the boats. Because the boat is not a brokerage boat, it is actually owned by Wilton Marina, there's a lot more guarantees, which I've said in the previous videos, and it's made, like I said, I've said this before, it's made our lives hell of a lot easier, and it's a good thing for us. So when you buy a boat, you have to have a survey done. That's a hull survey and an in-water survey, basically these. So when we put a deposit down on the boat, this was already done a few days prior. This is the whole survey, and the guy who did the survey, he basically said, he gives an information about the condition of the hull on the external part of the boat. He also puts on there what recommendations need doing, or if there's something that's urgently needing to be attended to, it needs to be done before it can be sold, basically, through the marina. If it was a brokerage, the people that buy it don't have to do this. It would be basically up to me to deal with it. So I'd have to barter on the price and everything, so I can compensate for any repair work, etc., etc., regarding the boat. But as I said, luckily we actually bought the boat directly through the marina. They owned it. They also do the BSS on a boat, which is it's the British Safety Scheme. Every single boat has to have that by law. It's basically to say that your boat is safe to live on. So Wilton Marina will be doing the BSS on this boat. However, before it passes, for it to pass, they're going to have to do some work. So if I show you, kind of give you a general idea of what is going to be done. This is the whole survey I'm reading through first. So the bow of the boat and the sides, that's basically the bottom and the sides of the boat, that's actually submerged in the water. It needs new anodes. Anodes are, best way to explain it, it's like earthing. So if you get like any kind of like electrical storm or anything like that, it basically hits the boat, and the anodes are there to protect it and us, basically. The boat needs blacking, and the marina are going to do that as well. They're going to fit 6 new anodes. They're also going to black the boats. That's basically to protect it while it's in the water. We do have a bow thruster on the boats. We're not entirely sure whether it works. The marina are not entirely sure whether it works. The guy who did the survey is not entirely sure whether it works. So what they're going to do is they're going to just double check it to see if it does work once they've actually got it all up to spec. If it's not, all they're going to do is they're going to blank it off. I mean, personally, we're not really bothered about having a bow thruster or not anyway, so if anything, they're just going to blank it off. They're going to cover those, they're going to put some steel on the holes and cover it, just weld it so nothing can get in or out of that. I don't mind, it doesn't bother me. They're going to look at the toilet as well. It's a pump out toilet, but the marina are going to repair that. Now, the survey that me and what we paid for is the in-water survey. This is basically, as I said before, the internals of the boat. The externals, there's nothing too major on that, to be honest. Genuinely not much major. And yeah, there's basically cosmetic stuff, rust. We just basically have to sand it down, treat it, and then paint it. It's as simple as that. It's just going to take a bit of work. When we get a bit of spare time, we'll do that. It's one of those. Right, okay, so this boat does need a lot of derusting. I'm not going to lie, it's a big job, but it's not a hard job. All it is just a bit of patience, a bit of TLC. This is what the boat actually needs. It just needs TLC. You've seen the video. You've seen what the rust is like. So it's, as I explained before, it's not that deep. It's a bit of, I'll get a circular sander or something and I'll just go along the gunnels. I'll just go along into the corners and stuff like that. I might have to use an angle grinder. I don't really want to, but to some of the hard bits I probably might have to do that, but it's not an issue. Even a steel wire brush, I'll get that on if I have to. It'll take maybe a couple of weeks to do, but it's not a major it's not a major deal. It's not a big issue, so it's fine. Yeah, the engine test. The marina are going to overhaul the steer gear assembly. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I know it's something to do with the engine. And I know that they're going to fix it because they've actually highlighted that they're going to do. There's, again, corrosion and stuff like that, but again, it's not a hard job to do. We know the stuff we need. We know the paint we need. We know what equipment we need to do that. It's not a problem. Like I said, this boat's going to need a bit of TLC. It's going to take us a few months, maybe up to a year, to fix these little issues. They're not major, but it's just, I work full time, she works full time. Only really time that we're really going to be able to do these sort of things are on weekends or when we're on a holiday and stuff. So it's just the life at the end of the day. It's going to be constant work on that boat either way. It's not an issue. 1 second. I need a coffee. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning and I'm absolutely exhausted. Right, okay, so the major thing, and I am so bloody glad we've bought this boat through the marina. So the engine. The engine has done about 12,000 hours. Yeah, 12,000 hours don't seem a lot, but that's a lot of mileage for that Barrowshire engine. It needs a compression test to assess for the wear and tear of the boat. It's got heavy exhaust emissions. The surveyor thinks it'd be worth just getting rid of that engine and just installing a refurbished one. If it can't be repaired, that's probably what they're going to have to do. And they've already admitted that. They said if they have to, they'll do that. Just by reading the report, I feel like they're going to end up doing that. So I think we will end up with a refurbished low mileage or lower hours on a new engine, or well, second-hand one. But yeah, that's the biggest major thing on that boat that they need to deal with for it to pass its BSS as well. So yeah, there is that. They're going to replace all the batteries. Bonus. That's something that basically it's got 4 batteries and a starter battery. The 4 batteries are lead acid, I believe. So the plan would be in 5 years' time. I think we want to reinstall a new electrical system because I think, well, I think lithium batteries are probably better. They last longer as well, and they can take load, especially with solar panels, because we've got 2 on there at the moment. I plan on getting another 2. So I'm going to need a more powerful inverter as well, but I also need batteries that are going to handle that power. So the lithium batteries would be the way forward. However, these batteries last about 5 years. That's good enough for me. So that'll be a bonus. I mean, the thing is, like I said, the plan was anyway in the very near future to rewire the entire boat to, because I'm presuming the electrics that are in there are the original electrics from when the boat was built. So we'd want to look at rewiring anyway. So yeah. There's something called a galvanic isolator. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but they need to resecure that, and they're going to. So for it to be insurable, and also for it to be passed on the BSS, Wilson Marina are going to be doing the major work on it. The only thing we need to really look at is the cosmetic stuff. I didn't really want a project boat. I really didn't. I didn't want anything where I had to do too much major work. But after reading the reports, after speaking to the marina, I'm more at ease with what needs doing. It sounded quite daunting, but it really isn't as bad as I think. I hope. I've seen some horror stories on the videos, like the nomadic crowbot and that lot, and what happened to their. If you ever watched their video, check them out. It's the nomadic crowbot. When they ripped up the floorboards, their hull was absolutely soaking and rusted. It was a major job for them guys. I personally, because there is a inside in the kitchen, under the cupboard, there is actually like a hatch where I can actually see the bow, the floor, the bow. I think that's what, yeah, it is the bow. And from what I could see, it was quite dry and didn't look that bad, but that was only one little spot. We need to look more central, so that's the plan. That will probably, other than treating the rust on the exterior, probably the very first job that we're going to have to do, and I think that will take a few weekends to sort out. So it's not a problem. We have to do it. I'm not doing cooking at the moment, purely because the videos that I'm going to be making are now going to be regarding the boat. So what I'm going to be working on, like what repairs I'm going to be showing you, that the sort of things, everyday life of a boater, what you're going to have to do if you want to buy a boat. Unless you buy a brand spanking new one, you've got that kind of money, then very happy days for you guys. But for the majority of people, we're buying a second-hand boat that we're going to make our forever home. So this boat needs TLC and it needs our mark on it, and that's the plan. The kitchen, we actually have discussed this. We love the tiling, but I think we may end up actually ripping out that kitchen to make it more manageable for us, because we've noticed that we haven't really got anywhere to put a washing machine, and that's something we really, really need. And also, I'm not entirely happy with the layout either. There's nowhere to put your cutlery. I mean, yeah, I can, for my utensils, I can use a jug, but there's no cutlery drawer. How? I don't understand that. So that's something we're going to have to do. We have discussed it. I think we might end up saving up to do a new kitchen. I mean, ideally, I want an induction hob anyway. I'm not really a big fan of these gas hobs, but I've never tried them. So that's going to be the very first time I'm going to use it. I mean, obviously, I used gas hobs when I was in the army, but that was like 20 odd years ago. So this is completely new to me. I've always had electric ovens since then. So yeah, we will do videos on cooking on a gas and gas mark. Never done it. Well, 20 years since I've done it, so I'm basically a born again on that. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there with you now, guys. Hopefully I'll still see you at Crick if anyone goes. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.